the truck, still in one piece. We only had one problem with it. If you notice right on the top, I'll take you up to the top. Okay, so we had a problem with the show, so we ripped the bedside off on the back here. So I've put a piece of nice big thick Lexan underneath here. Don't know if you can actually see it, the sun's quite bright. So yes, put some Lexan underneath it, put some hot glued it all back together, pot rivet it all back together, and put a few extra bolts in it, and that's good enough to get it through the show. When we get it back to the workshop, we can get it fixed there. We just take the bedside off, drop it back in the mould, and just re-fiberglass that one piece. Shouldn't have to repaint it. Welcome back. We're back in the workshop. I've got Swamp Thing out early this morning. Got a couple of little bits to fix on it. So one thing that we did break when we was at the show last time. It's quite tight in here at the minute. So one thing we did break when we was at the show last time was we broke the bedside. So the bedside is actually ripped at the top. So you can see what I've done here. So just put a piece of Lexan in, put some hot glue and some rivets, and then just drill 2 new bolt holes, because that's the bolt hole it ripped out there. So we're going to take all this off and repair it. So you can probably see the damage is just there on the top. So we're just going to cut that top piece out and remake that and just re-fiberglass it. Now there's a couple of ways you can do it. Because it's a flat panel, I could actually bolt a flat piece on the top of it and then re-fiberglass the inside, but I've actually got the molds for this because I actually make all the body panels. So what I'm going to do is actually just clean it all up, drop it back into the mold, and then just redo that one piece up the right way. Well, actually I'm doing it upside down. It stops the gel coat from running. So let's get this panel off and then we'll take it in and I'll show you where the mold is and what we're going to do. Okay, so you can see this is where I put all the pot rivets in. That's the piece that broke out. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to drill all the pot rivets out and then cut a piece out in here, and this is the mold. So if I come back, sometimes it flickers in here because I've got LED lights in here now. So I've only polished up the mold. So I polished this piece here because this is a bit where we're going to actually put it in. So we're going to actually put this in upside down and then clamp it down onto this edge here, put some clamps on it so it fits nice and tight, and then we can just remake this little piece. And by doing it upside down, see where this little piece is here, by doing it upside down it stops it running this way. So the gravity is going to make it try and go towards this top edge anyway, because we're actually going to just paint this on, and then we can put the fiberglass on in the inside of it. Okay, so I've got that piece. That's the bit that broke there. So cut that piece out. Now we're just going to chop this piece out here now and clean all this up. so now I'm just going to grind it up to make it have a nice surface for all this to glue to. Okay, so now we're just going to put one more coat of polish on the mould. So this is a polish I use. It's a mould release agent polish. So really good. Get a nice good release with this. Don't need to put a lot on, just smear it all over the bit where we're going to put the fiberglass. Now this mould's already got a lot of wax on it. If this is a brand new mould, you're going to have to do this probably with this stuff about between 4 and 6 times to get a good layer of wax on it. But this mould has still got quite a bit of wax on it, so I've already done it once. It's going over again. Just concentrating on the bits where we're actually going to be putting the gel coat and the fiberglass. Put the lids back on everything, and then just give it another polish off with a microfiber towel. You can feel with the wax on it, it's just so slippy with the microfiber towel. And that's good enough. So then we just have to drop that panel in there now. Push it in, see it fits so nice. So then we're going to put some clamps on this, clamp this piece down, clamp this piece back, and then we can start working on this bit where we're going to repair it. Okay, so what I've got here, this is the gel coat. Now normally the gel coat is clear, well clear, it's a pinkish colour, and what I've done is I've actually put some of the base coat colour into it, so when we put it into here it isn't going to look, because normally on my gel coat I normally do them black, so that's black, this is black. Yeah, but because I don't want to paint this and I don't want to make it that obvious that what we've done, so I've just put a little bit of base coat in there, mixing that all in. Now I've just got to put some of the hardener into it. I'm going to make it up quite strong because I want it to go off quick. Normally you'd have it at 3%. I'll probably put, well, it's got to be nearly 10% at least in here because I want this to go off nice and quick. We're only doing a little bit so we can get away with it. So that's that all mixed up. Just go and get a paintbrush now and brush it into the area where it's black and a little bit over the edge. Alright, so that's that done. Got the paintbrush and then paint it all over. Yeah, so you make sure you get the edges. It's not going to be perfect, you're going to see this, but it's a lot better than seeing a huge piece of black stuck up there. and this is why I've turned it upside down. So this, when if it runs, it should only just go up to the edge. If I had it up the other way and it ran, it would run all the way down the side of the panel. So this way it only is going to run on one side. And that's it. Okay, so I've made it up really quite strong, so you can see, look, go into it. You can tell when it's ready because it feels dry, but if you put your finger on it, you actually can leave a fingerprint. So that's sticky. So when you put the fiberglass on here next, we're going to basically wash over it of resin. Then you put the fiberglass mat on and then push more fiberglass resin into that, and we do that. Going to put 4 layers on there so make this nice and thick, but we're going to take it all the way up, put it so it glues all the way around. Oh, you didn't like that, it's trying to focus on my arms. Yes, so we're just going to make a big piece up now. Going to cut it off. We've got it all on here on a roll. So just take it off and we just cut it off of here and lay it up on there. So that's what we're up to next. Okay, so I'm mixing up the resin. So tinted it black like I normally do because that is clear. That is really quite clear. So next, get the activator or the catalyst, whatever you want to call it. Mixing it quite strong. We're only doing a very small piece. I want it to go off quick, so we're doing a very quick repair on this. Mix that all in. Give it a good stir. Make sure you get all the bits from the bottom up to the top. So you lift it, turn it, and then get the paintbrush, which I've forgotten because it's still in the cleaning bottle. Okay, so I'm going to use a lot bigger brush this time. So this is a 3-inch brush. Just carry on stirring that in. Now you just put a good coat of resin over everything. That's the food ban, but I'm not going to be stopping today. I'm just going to get this thing done. Alright, so the first coat of resin on it. Get the mat. Now we're going to wet this side up. So we wetted the other side, so we want to get the resin all the way through the mat. Make sure you get all the way up to the edge. Doesn't matter if you put too much on because we're going to be putting more over the top of this in a minute. Okay, so that's one layer on. So it doesn't take too long to do it. A lot of people are scared of fiberglass, but once you get into it. Now you're going to use a roller and we're going to squeeze out all the air so we make sure the resin goes all the way through. This is a lot of bits what a lot of people cheat on, and this is what makes it brittle because you've got to get all the layers together. That's it. Nice. I'm actually using some other bits, so this is some of the offcuts, because it's basically the sheet comes in. It's 33 kilos of weight. You actually buy this by the weight, so it's 33 kilos. So it's the whole width of the roll is just over a metre. So this is an offcut, so we're just going to overlay it and then put another piece on the other side of it. It's just a good way to use up bits. That's a piece of roller it out. And that's it done. Okay, so I've heated it up a little bit, still a little bit warm, but it's all gone off now, so it's all nice and thick. So we can take the clamps out now. Undo this one. Grab the piece. Should pop out now. Right, so that's the panel out. Pick it up. So it doesn't look too bad. Forgot to do these bits, but I can still just peel that off at a minute. So that's where the rivets went through. So peel that off while it's still a bit soft. But yeah, so like you wouldn't really know that piece, I've chopped it out and put that new piece in. So when you stand back, you wouldn't really know it had been done. Okay, so I've trimmed off the bit of the back where we laminated it. Just put the 3 pop rivets back in there. Put 3 pop rivets back in there. Put some spacers underneath them so it spreads the load, just in case this piece comes delaminated. It shouldn't do, but now that's captured all the way through. All we got to do now is to put the bedside on and then just drill out the holes, and that's all fixed. Okay, so I've got the panel back on, so from down here you wouldn't even know that the top was ripped. So if I go right up to the very top of it, even now, for that far away, you can't really see how it's been repaired, but that's how I repair it. So I'll climb up on the inside so you can see what I've done here. So that's where the repair, oh, the light there. So that's where the repair finishes there. So it's all bonded, but I just put some extra rivets through just in case that bit comes delaminated from there. It's still held up. And we do the same at the other end. So there's 3 in that one. And then of course, then it's all bolted together here. So you can see how thick it is now on the edge. So that's all new. That's all new fiberglass, and where it joins into the old stuff, we feather it out a bit down here. So yeah, and it's lipped all the way under, so under this swage line, so it's got to try and pull all of this off to get this off, but that should be on there nice and strong now. And from the top, even when you're this far away, you can see where I've put the repair in. But seeing this hasn't even been sprayed or anything, this is just literally just resin all back in which it's still tinted the same colour as this, but it's just not as shiny because the mould isn't shiny. If we polished the mould really bright, this could actually come out quite shiny. But yeah, so that's all fixed. Hope you enjoyed that video. See you on the next one.